So in very quick way, I'm going to give you I'm going to talk about Act One in the book which is called Tragedy of Macbeth. So I'm going to give you a discussion questions in quick way. We have 9 discussion questions. I'm going to give you question number 1. Why does Shakespeare open the play by showing the witches? Why it is good for Macbeth not to appear first? Question number 2. How does Duncan reward Macbeth of his bravery in defeating the rebels? Comment on the order in which Duncan announced it and Macbeth finds out. Question number 3. Macbeth calls the day of the battle foul and fair. Comment on what you think he means. Question number 4. When Macbeth is told of his new title, how do he and Banquo react? Can you think of the reasons of differences for the difference in reaction? Question number 5. Why or what does Lady Macbeth fear about her husband after she has read the letter? Question number 6. Lady Macbeth tells her husband to look like an innocent flower but be the serpent under it. Explain what does she mean, either generally or specifically or both, as you think appropriate. Question number 7. What is the purpose of and effects? What is the purpose and effects of Duncan's and Banquo's comments when they approach Macbeth's castle? Question number 8. Why, in Macbeth's opinion, the killing of King Duncan is wrong? Question number 9. How does Lady Macbeth make sure that her husband murdered King Duncan? So, in Act 1, Scene 1. Act 1, Scene 1. The 3 witches appear. They will meet Macbeth after the battle, or they will confront Macbeth after the battle. Will meet after the battle and to confront Macbeth. Will meet after the battle. The 3 witches will meet Macbeth after the battle and to face them or to have some words with them. Act 1, Scene 2. King Duncan of Scotland asks a wounded captain for news battle of the Scottish or Irish battle. The King Duncan asking the wounded captain or the wounded sergeant coming from the battle, and he asking news about the battle or how the battle is going on. Scottish generals Macbeth and Banquo fought with great honor or courage, violence. Macbeth and Banquo, they are both of them generals of the Scottish army, which is by the side of the King Duncan, and the other side is for the rebel. Macbeth slew traitor MacDonald. MacDonald is the person which is the rebel side. He is in the rebel side. Traitor Thane of Cawdor be put in death. The Thane of Cawdor, which is the rebel, has been put in death, and his title will be take his place with Macbeth. Macbeth will take his place. Act 1, Scene 3. In Act 1, Scene 3, the 3 witches appear again, discussing skinning swine and revenge upon Seller's wives. They are discussing about between them, and someone will kill talking about the killing swine and revenge, which is going to take place upon Seller's wife. Macbeth's interest and with Banquo. Macbeth and Banquo enter. The 3 witches met Macbeth and Banquo and hailed the Macbeth with the Thane of Glens and then Thane of Cawdor, and also they will be a king in hereafter. Banquo is lesser than Macbeth, greater and greater, not so happy yet much happier. He will never be a king, but his children will become a king. The 3 witches told Macbeth and Banquo that Macbeth will be Thane of Glens and hereafter will be Thane of Cawdor, and then he will be king hereafter. And they told Banquo will never become a king, and he is not happy like Macbeth, but later he will be much happier. But he will never become a king, and his children will become a king hereafter. Macbeth fixates the prophecies obsessively. The 3 witches, which has been met by Macbeth thinking about the 3 witches and figure out what they have said. He wonders whether the rain will simply fall to him or whether he will have a perfume to perform dark deed in order to gain his crown. He is thinking about the three prophecies which has been made by the three witches. In Act 1, Scene 4, King Duncan learns the Thane of Cawdor noble execution confirms sins. Macbeth and Banquo enter. They came from the battle to the place of the king. King Duncan announces his intention to name Malcolm, his son, to the new heir to his throne. King Duncan announces two things, which are the first one is he will put his son in his place, which he will become a king in his throne, and the other one is to meet Macbeth in his castle. Macbeth notes that Malcolm will be stand between his and his crown. Macbeth figure out that Malcolm, the son of the king, will be in his way, that the way that which he is going to be by the things which has been ordered by, which has been prophesied by the three witches. Plans are made for Duncan to din at Macbeth's castle that evening. Plans are made. Plans has been made in order to dine at Macbeth's castle. To dine, that means to die at Macbeth's castle in order to kill the king. Then in Act 1, Scene 5, Lady Macbeth reading a letter from her husband Macbeth about meeting with the witches. Macbeth sent a letter for his wife, Lady Macbeth, and Lady Macbeth is reading a letter from her husband. Lady Macbeth fears is too full of the milk of the human kindness to take the steps necessary to make himself king. Lady Macbeth is planning in order to take the necessary things in order to become her husband, a king. Your spirit that tend a mortal thought and sex me here, and fill me from the crown to the top talks of the parents' direst cruelty. Lady Macbeth's quote in Act 1, Scene 5, page 38 to 41. Lady Macbeth tells Macbeth that Duncan will not see tomorrow. Leave the plan for her. Lady Macbeth telling her husband to leave the plan for her and telling that King Duncan will not see the sun tomorrow because he will be. Act 1, Scene 6. Duncan arrives at the castle. Duncan arrives as Macbeth's castle. Hospitalities ensue. Hospitality which has been made by Lady Macbeth and Macbeth. They are so generous, they are so hospitable when the king has come. Duncan claims he loves Macbeth dearly. Duncan claims that he loves Macbeth so much. Act 1, Scene 7. Macbeth ponders associations. It would be easily if it ended quickly. Don't set up trouble consequences. Duncan willingness is risk internal domination and realizes bodily clean actions to play chain influence. Internal struggle ultimately decided not to kill the King Duncan. Lady Macbeth is outraged, calling him a coward and questioning his manhood. Promises success. Plan. Chamberlains will appear to have committed the act. Those are This is Act 1. You have to think about it, and you have to figure out, and you have to think about the questions which has been given. See you in coming lecture in coming time.